are live from Saturday night. It's
Friday.
Oh, God damn it.
They don't know that. It's Tuesday as far as they're concerned.
Yeah, that's fair.
Guys, welcome to Real Awkward. I'm Andy Case.
I'm Amanda Knickerbocker.
And you have came to a very amazing episode.
Wow, the grammar's so bad right now.
Street cred.
Street cred.
How does the jingle go? I forget it every time.
That was pretty much it.
Yeah, I think that was it.
It just says street cred twice and then
It's
ends.
been like that every time. You haven't noticed?
Street cred.
How'd you get those?
Yeah, because it turns into Jeepers Creepers every time.
Which I would just prefer to see Jeepers Creepers.
This is an episode that Amanda has wanted to do for a really long time, and we are excited. This is our street cred episode of
Timmy B.
Timmy B. Everyone's like, who the F is Timmy B? Say that again because I interrupted you. I'm sorry.
Tim Burton.
Tim Burton, the most iconic director. Okay, maybe not the most, but close.
I would say like the most iconic director as far as like a style.
Yes. Oh, the amazing things that this guy's done. So if you guys haven't watched a Street Cred episode, Amanda, tell them how it goes.
Okay, here's the deal. So our producer, Ashley, will pull up IMDb, and we're going to start at the bottom of the list, so the oldest stuff, and we're going to work our way to the top. Andy and I are going to shit on a lot of movies, and you're going to listen to it.
I love it.
We are going to do our best to not delve into every single movie, but we're really bad at that, so we will delve.
Yeah, we will delve.
If there are things we missed, which I don't know if we will, because this one's director, not actor, but if there's stuff we missed or stuff that you really don't agree with us crapping on it or saying we love it,
Shoot us a message.
let us know. You know, everybody's opinions are different, and I like to know if people don't agree with me.
Me
on
too.
Movies.
It's okay not to agree and still be friends.
Yeah.
Everyone remember that?
I mean,
Take
not
it
in
away
this
as a life
circle,
lesson.
but
I hate you both.
not my friends, but no.
So Tim Burton, first, before you say anything, what year is the first directing
So before
credit?
I say anything and get into his production credits, directing credits, excuse me.
Directing credits.
Timothy Walter Burton
Oh,
was born
Walter.
August 25th, 1958 in Burbank, California, to Jean Ray, who owned a cat-themed gift shop,
Of course she
and
did.
William Reed Burton, who worked for the Burbank Parks and Recs.
Interesting.
That sounds super boring for an awesome director.
Wait, he spent most of his childhood as a recluse drawing cartoons and watching old movies.
That
Of
makes
course he
sense.
did. Of course he did.
We are in agreement with that statement.
Uh-huh. So I will say, I think there's going to be a lot of things that maybe we thought that he did that maybe he produced.
Yes,
Oh,
so
yeah.
we think so
We
too.
may have to delve a little bit into producing stuff maybe
Delve.
afterwards. But
Yeah.
let's go.
Wait,
Okay.
real quick.
Yeah.
For those that don't understand the difference between a director and a producer.
Yeah, do you want to clarify, Mr. Film School Man?
Yes.
Yeah,
So,
film school.
a director, his job is to create the vision of the film. So what you see on screen is essentially supposed to be the director's vision. But more often than not these days, a producer also tends to have the say because a producer's the one with the checkbook.
The producer
The
has
producer,
the money.
the producer is the one that goes out and finds the director to say, hey, I want to make this movie and I want you and your vision to show me something cool on screen. But as a producer and I have a lot of money, I've got some things I want in this movie.
Yeah,
or I've
sure.
got some things I'd like to say. So that's kind of what it's turned into. It never used to be like that. Normally a director had like full say. And some sets are like that. Like Michael Bay, he gets full say on whatever he wants to do when he's a director on the project.
Sure.
But some producers, like Jerry Bruckheimer,
Sure.
right? He decides that he's like, you know what? I kind of like these ideas. Or I would like to be involved in this, especially when you get to like Marvel movies.
Oh, sure.
So they have a director, but there's a vision the producer wants for the film and the overall canon
Well, I
of the
imagine
story. So I just
there's-
want to make sure that that was clear because I think a lot of people don't possibly know the difference between the two.
Sure.
So
I imagine there's also a lot of studio involvement where like the company who owns this license also wants it to be a certain way, which I imagine we will find issues with.
right.
Um,
So with that said,
Where are we starting?
Okay.
We are good.
So in 1971, he started with a few shorts.
Okay.
So I assume you know none of these.
Were they boxers or briefs?
Got him.
Shorts?
Eat my shorts
I
with
didn't
this.
say underwear.
Okay,
Okay.
go.
The Island of Dr. Agor,
Nope.
prehistoric caveman.
Is it pronounced Igor?
No, it's an A.
Okay.
Houdini, The Untold Story, Tim's Dreams, 1997, Stalk of the Celery Monster, King and Octopus Animation,
Stop us if these are your favorites.
Doctor of Doom,
Is that a Marvel movie?
That's my favorite one.
Vincent
I've seen Vincent.
from 1982.
Is it a short?
It's a short.
Oh, okay.
So, he had, I think, in the night, like one of the Nightmare Before Christmas specials that I own, there are a handful of the little shorts. So I think I've seen maybe 2 or 3, but that's the first one that I recognize.
Luau. And then he did a TV movie in 1983 of Hansel and Gretel.
Interesting.
83. Still wasn't born yet.
84, he did a short of Frankenweenie,
I've seen the
There it
Frankenweenie
is.
short.
which is Disney.
I remember
It's
it
a
when I was a
live
baby.
action. It's a live action. That is, it's sad.
Wait, did you say that? Oh, that his was not associated with Disney at that time in '84.
Yes, it is Disney.
Oh, it is. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I didn't realize that they.
I think it was like, an ABC kind of thing.
Okay. Okay.
But
And then his first big movie, Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
really?
Right. Yep.
Okay.
I remember that was one of his
I
first
figured
ones.
he might have had to do something else before he got money to do Pee-wee. But
Well, he did a short for Disney.
fair.
Sometimes that's enough, man. That's how the guy that did Fantastic Four got on because he produced his
Fantastic
own.
Four?
Yeah.
It was enough for someone to be like, "You're weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make this movie."
Yeah,
Fair.
Colin Trevorrow, is
Yeah,
that his name?
something like
So
that.
he had done his own little. Well, it was a bigger project, but he had done his own film with the guys that have superpowers in Seattle. Do you remember that movie?
Oh, is that Chronicle?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he did that one. And they were like, "You're so good. You should do Fantastic Four." And then he was like, "I got all these cool ideas," and they were like, "They're not cool. This is
Yeah.
absolutely terrible. We should have looked into your directing stuff
Yeah.
before we hired you." So, anyway, Pee-wee's Big Adventure. I think that's a great movie. If you forget what Paul Rubin has done. in the
Okay,
past.
let's be clear.
It's not
Number
his fault.
one, Pee-wee's awesome.
Pee-wee.
I loved Pee-wee's Playhouse as a kid. I've seen, I think, every episode. I love Pee-wee. But Pee-wee's Big Adventure is very different from the Pee-wee's Adventure TV show.
Oh, very.
So it's
yeah.
for kids,
Well,
and,
it was scary. Some parts were scary too.
Pee-wee's Big Adventure, the movie, like tell
Yep.
him Large Marge said
Uh-huh,
shit, like
yeah.
yeah,
Yep.
and but okay. In defense of Paul Rubens,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I would be concerned with the guy not jerking it at the adult movie place. He only got in trouble for it because he was famous and he was a child star,
Oh, sure.
like a
Yeah.
kid's movie star.
You're just telling me that like most people that go in those things.
I would assume so.
Yeah.
He wasn't at Disneyland doing
Right.
it. Like,
He's not whipping his dick out in front of a bunch of kids. Like,
Windmilling it.
but
Yeah.
I just mean, like, what else are you supposed to do in there?
Yeah.
I don't know,
Yeah.
but like,
just watch the cinematic story.
right. That's what I
telling.
mean. I would be concerned with the person who's like, wow, this story's so great. Like, so anyway, that ruined his career.
It really did, but this is not about him.
No.
This is about Tim Burton. So Tim
Pee-wee's
Burton,
great.
though, if you watch that, you can tell, like, it's got those Tim Burton hints in it.
Yeah,
You know,
totally.
as he starts to develop over the years. So
Sure.
cool. Great first one, Timmy B.
Timmy B.
1988, Beetlejuice.
My
So-
God, that was the second one.
Yeah.
I love Beetlejuice
It's
so much.
good.
It's like I can always watch Beetlejuice.
The effects are amazing.
So good. Michael
that
Keaton
film.
is incredible. Alec Baldwin is incredible. But I think the thing I like the most is like going from Pee-wee to Beetlejuice. Like the scene where Large Marge like scares Pee-wee.
Uh-huh.
That is the same type of like claymation animation that they do in Beetlejuice.
Right. Yeah. Yep.
That did Tim Burton write Beetlejuice?
No.
Okay. I don't know. That movie to me is like perfect.
It's in its own category
It's
to me when
iconic
it
at
comes
this
to like
point.
trying to throw it like next to other things. Like like the satirical dead.
Yeah.
Like no one's ever told a story like that same way.
Yeah.
As Beetlejuice was. Like
And
it was
the
freaking
visuals
awesome.
are incredible.
So good.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he had a role in casting Michael Keaton, but what an amazing choice for
I love Michael Keaton.
Beetlejuice.
Think of this too. He was only 30.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's when he
no,
had like the
I-
really cool like curly never mind.
His
I'm
hair
tr-
just wasn't as crazy as it is now.
Yeah, his hair's a little goofy looking now, but that has nothing to do with the movie.
No.
Great film though.
In 89, he did Batman.
So he got.
Wait.
So, okay.
Why in the world did I think those were switched?
Okay. He got Batman because of how well Beetlejuice did.
Right.
Because they wanted this gritty Batman, and this weirdo dude had just made this movie.
Yeah, but
And-
even is it because they wanted more? They wanted the Joker to be more like Beetlejuice. So
Maybe.
therefore, they were like, Tim Burton can do Joker, and then Batman we can just play straight, so we'll be fine.
Maybe. I would be
just-
curious.
I thought the set pieces were awesome.
That
his
movie.
his
Again, Michael
costume
Keaton.
design and
The set design.
set design, yes, in general, no other Batman film had came close to it.
Those movies are
So good.
the best Batman.
Batman and Batman Returns.
They are
Yes.
I will fight somebody about this. I think Michael Keaton is the best Batman.
I will 100% agree with you.
Those are the best Batman movies. I think they're incredible.
Well, what I was saying was that it's amazing that Tim Burton cast Michael Keaton. A little, I think the guy's like 5'10".
He's not a big dude.
He's not ripped.
No.
And they cast him as brooding Bruce Wayne. And in the comic books, Bruce Wayne is a bigger dude. Like he's like 6'1" or 6'2".
Yeah, and he's thicker.
220
He's a little thick.
pounds with some muscle.
Yeah.
Michael Keaton was none of those things. In fact, he was balding. Like, like, but Tim Burton, it shows at what he was probably 32.
31.
31 when he made that one. How amazing of a director you are to turn Michael Keaton into the best freaking Batman that's ever been created.
Yeah, classic Batman. The Batmobile
Yeah.
is incredible. Like
And Jack Nicholson's Joker
one of
is
the
awesome.
best.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
That movie is incredible.
I want to watch it again.
Now I'm like,
Yeah.
I gotta watch this again.
Okay.
Edward Scissorhands.
Also amazing. Super creepy. This one was like creepier. Like it was like it was almost like Edward was a doll.
Yeah.
Like it didn't, because he had pretty much no emotion for the most part. He does cry, right?
He's just
in
kind
it
of like
somewhere.
a sad boy.
Yeah, yeah, just like a sad boy.
And this was the first Johnny Depp Tim Burton movie.
Right. And this is when they were like partners for the rest of
Well,
their
and
life.
Johnny Depp was young. Like
really young. But that movie also has
incredible
a
visuals.
lot of Beetlejuice-esque to it.
Sure. Yeah. And
know-
it has Vincent Price. I love him.
Yeah, because he's the one that like is
He's like his
trying to get
caretaker,
Edward
kinda.
to not go back to the town, right? Or something like that. Yeah. So
The old man.
the old man.
No, I like that movie.
Him
It's-
like cutting bushes and stuff.
and
like,
that when he
into-
does the hair,
Yeah,
I love the
right?
scene when he would do hair.
Yeah, some of that stuff was
Mm-hmm.
epic.
I will say it's not one that I watch all the time.
No, I don't go back
will-
to Edward Scissorhands, but when I think about it, I'm like, oh, Edward Scissorhands is a good movie.
And it definitely has. I'm assuming it's Danny Elfman who did the score.
Oh, yeah.
But it definitely has like that Danny Elfman kind of like sing-songy score that a lot of Tim Burton
is
like.
why am I forgetting who's the female?
Winona Ryder.
Yes. Okay, that's right. So Beetlejuice, same thing. So he grabs his actors and he hangs on to them for a little while.
Well, because he knows what they can do.
Yeah. Oh, Helen Bonham Carter.
Well,
Yep. Okay.
okay. What's next?
Batman Returns.
What year was that?
92.
Which one do you think is better, Batman
Okay.
or Batman Returns?
Batman, which I call Batman 1989, is what I call it.
Sure.
Just it's it is. There is something about like the original screenplay and script and the way the characters interact that's really iconic. But even though I like the Joker, I think that the Penguin
Yes.
and Catwoman
Yes.
are even better villains the
Yes.
second time around. Don't mess with my Danny DeVito. I've talked about this before.
I will hurt anyone who
Best.
bad talks
I
Danny DeVito.
cannot see anybody else being Penguin after that film. But that was one where it's, you know how sequels normally are not, they don't pale in comparison, but some sequels are just, they don't hit the same
Yep.
note.
This one's better.
It's better. It is better. Yes. I would say, I mean, we're talking like Batman's a 9.5 and this is a 10. Like,
right.
it's
like,
really
we're
close.
talking
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
an A and an A plus. Like,
yes.
but
Yeah.
I think that Batman Returns is interesting because normally movies that have like at least two big bad guys suck because you
Yeah.
can't get enough time in
Yeah.
per bad guy. And
And they kept that formula from that point on and added more.
well,
through the rest of the
even go
films.
to the Spider-Man movies.
Yeah.
Like you get these things where they're like, okay, we got to give him more, give him more. And I feel
18
like
villains.
this is one of the only superhero movies that has more than one villain crammed in it. Because technically, there's 3 bad guys in that movie. You have Christopher
Max-
Walken,
'cause Max
Max
is
Shrek.
bad.
You have the Penguin, and
You're
you have
right.
Catwoman.
You're right.
And it didn't feel like somebody didn't get enough time, and it didn't feel like I didn't care enough about what's
and
happening.
And Selena Kyle, like the portrayal that Tim Burton made, it's like you believe that she goes crazy.
Dude, Michelle Pfeiffer was so
And
good as
she-
Catwoman.
And she turns into like the anti-hero rather than the villain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that kind of, it works that way.
Love it.
So
love it.
So good. Tim Burton, so far, like if those are the only movies that
We're
I
climbing the hill and we're about
Yeah.
to drop down it, baby.
You know,
What?
we're saying we're going down a hill. Where are we going?
I don't know.
Oh, Ed Wood.
Oh, it's okay.
Some people love that
I
movie.
think Jeff
It's
loves
weird.
this movie.
Yeah, and I just cannot
It's a
get
movie about
into it.
filmmaking.
Couldn't.
Yeah, I can't get into it, unfortunately. And that was it. He's back with Depp
Yep.
in that one too, but it's not as like kooky and out there as the others,
because
right?
Ed,
Okay, kooky was the wrong word. It's not like Beetlejuice is extreme.
Yeah,
right?
It's
Edward
not the
Scissorhands
kind
is-
of
yeah.
gothic-y thing. It was
Yeah.
a movie that he made about a kooky guy.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
I
you
need
know,
to watch that again. Again, that's been like 15, 20 years. since
I
I've seen
watched
that
it
film.
once and I'm good.
Yeah.
Mars Attacks.
I love Mars
I think
Attacks.
that's-
I will hurt anyone who says it's a garbage movie. It is so good. Again,
Yeah.
it doesn't have the same like gothic kind of thing to
No,
it.
no, but
But it has classic kind of Tim Burton, like over exaggerated.
the times were changing though too. So it was like that like turn of the 90s was like that dark grunge was starting, and then all of a sudden what year is this? 95? 94? When Mars Attacks?
I wanted to say 96, but I don't know.
96.
See, so yeah, in the middle of it, freaking boy bands are popular.
Yeah.
So it makes sense to have a different color palette. Makes sense, people are kind of getting into a little bit more like not wholesome, but obviously there was a
Less
lot of
dark.
Yeah. The brooding stuff
No,
wasn't as
I
popular.
love Mars Attacks. I've always wanted a tattoo of one of the aliens from Mars
Oh,
Attacks.
dude, they're so cool. The design on those are
oh
so
my
cool.
God, I love it.
That was a good one. I liked it too.
In 99, he did Sleepy Hollow.
I love Sleepy Hollow.
You do like it.
I love it.
I'm okay with it. I like the story of Sleepy Hollow,
Mm-hmm.
and so having an adaptation of it is always awesome. Glad that Tim Burton did it. But for me, unfortunately, it's forgettable.
Well, you're back to the color palette that he is known for,
Right,
right?
yeah.
Like gray, black,
Yeah.
kind of a washed out. Obviously, Johnny Depp again. Christopher Walken's in it. It's violent, but it's also very kind of like weird, and there's like weird ethereal moments. I love it. I think it's great.
I didn't know he did this one, Planet of the Apes.
Yes.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah, is that with
Mikey Mac.
Mark Wahlberg? Which is
bad.
funny
It's bad.
because did they the new Planet of the Apes, the other series that they've
With
done?
James Franco, they totally started over.
Oh, so they don't even remember that one.
No, because your Planet of the Apes, the newer one, is on Earth.
Oh, okay. So I need to rewatch this one then with
Don't
Mark.
waste. It's bad. Dude.
Okay, but it's so interesting for Tim Burton to want to take that one on.
I think that was his
It's-
first movie with Helena Bonham Carter. I don't know. I wonder if that was his, like a passion project kind of thing, or if
Oh.
that was like, well, they're giving me this much money, I gotta do it.
It could have been something, as Ash already said in his bio, like he was like a quiet kid that just watched old movies. So he probably loved the
Yeah.
first Planet of the Apes and was like, let's redo that. That would be great. And then I bet the studio was like, we got to have Marky Mark. We got to have,
It was
like,
rough, man. I mean,
yeah.
the people in the monkey suits was bad.
Was Charleston Heston?
Charlton Heston?
Did he pass away before that?
I don't think so.
Did he make a cameo in that one?
I don't know. I know Tim Roth was in it.
So our first real Skipperooski, right?
It tanked.
Yeah.
It was bad.
Yeah. Okay.
Big Fish.
I love it.
It's so good.
I love
It's
it.
so good.
That movie.
Ewan McGregor, right? Isn't?
Yes.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
movie
yeah.
always makes me cry every time. And so I don't watch it that often because I bawl like a little baby.
Well, that was
But it's so good.
the ending of that film
Also, Danny DeVito.
where that's right.
Mm-hmm.
The ending of that film when all these things are like kind of real,
Oh my God.
right? Is the coolest thing. Like he comes
And he
out
puts
and
the dad in the water.
yeah, and they
he
get to
turns into
meet
the
everything.
fish.
Yeah. No, you're right. That was a good one. But that's where he started to get whimsical. Mm-hmm. Because all the other things had been what's the word? You're still set in reality, but it's like skewed.
Sure.
All of the other films. Do you know what I'm saying? Okay, maybe not. Maybe not. I'm gonna roll that one back.
All right.
I'll find a better word for it.
After that, he did Corpse Bride.
Okay, so this is his first full
Kids movie.
animation.
Yeah.
He had done like the smaller pieces in Beetlejuice and some of the other films, but it's the first time he did the full one. And I know there's some people that are like, it's a cult classic. Like they love The Corpse Bride.
I liked it a lot. I think a lot of people compare it to Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah.
And I can
And they
understand
were
the
out at the
comparisons.
same time.
No, they were not.
Right?
Nope. Nightmare Before Christmas was mid-90s.
1997.
I want to say 1994.
Oh, I didn't realize it was that early.
But then Corpse Bride was what, early 2000s?
2005.
I like Nightmare Before Christmas better.
But Tim Burton didn't direct Nightmare Before Christmas.
Wait.
Nightmare on Elm
Nightmare
Street.
Before
I
Elm
meant to
Street.
make
Nightmare
the
Before Elm
joke. I screwed up again.
Yeah.
The Nightmare Before Elm Street.
So, no, I like Corpse Bride. I like the songs in the Corpse Bride. I think they're really good. But yeah, I mean, it's not a Nightmare Before Christmas. That movie is incredible in so many ways. And this movie is like, hey, remember Nightmare Before Christmas? This is kind of like it, but
we kind of like it.
But I will say, I remember when the ads for that movie came out, they had Nightmare Before Christmas music in the trailer for that movie. And I remember being like, what the fuck is that?
People are like, connection, okay.
Well, because
Maybe this
they
is a
were like,
sequel.
from the
Yeah.
man who brought you Nightmare Before Christmas.
Right.
When it's Danny Elfman,
Yeah.
same everything.
Yeah.
But I remember being like, can you use that music?
Right.
Like, can you do that? And apparently they did.
Apparently they did.
Okay, what else?
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Horrible. Horrible, horrible, horrible.
Wait, that
Really
was the
bad.
next one?
Yeah.
So
I think
wait,
Corpse Bride was decently successful.
wait, what year was that?
2005.
Okay, see, so Johnny Depp had already portrayed Jack Sparrow for a couple Pirates movies.
Yeah, and he was a
Before
voice.
that.
He was the voice of the main character in Corpse Bride.
Now, okay, in defense of this movie, even though I also dislike it, this is the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory book, not Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, which a lot of people confuse.
What?
There's two books.
No, there isn't.
Yes,
No.
there is.
No, so there, Roald Dahl wrote
oh,
Charlie and the Chocolate
oh,
Factory.
sorry, that's what
and
I
then
meant.
when they made the movie, they called it Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Because they wanted.
Let me take it back. I did not mean to say two books. I'm sorry. I mean, I did mean to, but that's not what I meant. They did not tell all the story of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
What didn't they tell?
In Willy Wonka, they didn't tell like the fact that he was a dentist, like that he didn't want to be a dentist. Do you remember that?
Willy Wonka?
Yeah, Willy Wonka initially wanted to be a dentist.
Oh, I don't remember.
See, so that was all part of that original book
Oh.
that was not in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. So a lot of people are like, what? And then they changed a lot of the things that people found iconic from the first Willy Wonka
Yeah.
and the Chocolate Factory. Like it's nuts and squirrels instead of the golden goose and eggs.
Yeah.
So it's like, but I just didn't like Depp's performance as
I
Willy
didn't like
Wonka.
that, and also the Oompa Loompas.
The Oompa Loompas were weird.
yeah.
The songs were weird.
Yeah,
Johnny Depp
you're
was like
right.
a weird Michael Jackson
Yes,
kind of
it's
thing.
a really good example of him.
It was like,
Yeah.
like I hated it.
the teeth, man.
Oh, he had like little like ventriloquist dummy teeth.
Yeah.
No, I thought it was bad.
It didn't hit.
I
It didn't hit for me.
well, okay, so something I actually found out recently was that Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory was named that because it was basically like Transformers, which was created just to sell toys. It was created to sell candy.
And it was like Wonka this and Wonka that.
It came out at
Yeah.
the same time, the
Yeah.
Wonka line of
Yeah.
candy. And then they really tried hard to push the Wonka line again when that movie came out, I remember. Because we bought Wonka bars because I grew up watching Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, it's so cool. And the movie was so bad.
Yeah, it's not
and
good.
I'll watch it like randomly
Yeah.
from time to time just because it's so bad.
I would say that's our second
Stinker.
Not good, Timmy.
Yeah.
Not good.
But I will say I would watch that before I watch Planet of the Apes.
Fair.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Sweeney Todd.
Oh my God, I love Sweeney Todd.
It's so good.
So good.
I
so good.
also
What's the
like it, but
span
I'm
of time?
not a musical fan.
2007.
Was Sweeney Todd.
Yeah.
What was Willy Wonka 2005?
Yeah.
So he's almost been doing films for 20 years at this point.
Well, it's like almost every other year. he
And this is the
bangs
third
movies
Johnny
out.
Depp film in a row.
Oh, so he went Depp hard, like at that point.
Well, pretty much from
At that point, you're just
Edward
casting
Scissorhands
Depp 'cause you
on,
like
it's
him.
just like Johnny Depp, almost every single movie.
Huh.
I think everything but Planet of the Apes had Johnny Depp in it.
What was the one thing that you said? What was the movie
Big
you just
Fish?
said?
Oh, correct.
What was the movie you just said?
Sweeney Todd.
Oh yeah, I actually love the like aesthetic of Sweeney Todd.
Oh, yeah.
And I love the story of Sweeney Todd. Johnny Depp cannot sing for his life. I think it's terrible, and it sounds like nails on a chalkboard to me. And unfortunately, that's why I don't rewatch that film.
The Johnny Depp and Helena Bonham Carter both are not the strongest singers,
Singers.
but I love it. It's kind of like John told me the other day
it's a
that
cool
like
movie.
we were talking about something and I was like looking at furniture and it was all retro like diner stuff. And then I was like, I want this, but I want it like purple and black. And he was like, you're just like spooky retro. He's like, that's what I think of you. And that's almost what I think of that movie is kind of like spooky retro.
And Tim Burton is back to his like dark aesthetic again.
Yeah.
Like in this film too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Keeping on with Depp. Alice in Wonderland.
So bad.
Even worse,
terrible.
I will rewatch Charlie and the Chocolate Factory before I watch Alice in
Same.
Wonderland.
Same. That
I
movie's
thought-
awful.
It is not good.
The-
And who was he? The Mad Hatter?
Yeah.
Which they gave him way more screen time just because it's Johnny Depp.
Yeah. I will say like the
Stupid.
character design if
It's okay.
some of the character design in that movie is great. Johnny Depp as a Mad Hatter, like he looks great. I
Yeah.
think the character design's great. I think the Red Queen or whatever she was, the Mad Queen or whatever.
Helen Bonham Carter.
Yeah. I
With just a big
hated
head?
that she had a huge head.
Yeah, it was
I
a
thought
bad.
It was
a
odd.
bad design. They should have just stayed with her being like a bigger lady with a littler head.
Or yeah, like because her
Yeah.
her costume design and stuff was really cool.
Yeah.
But like the weird head thing was just too much.
Also, fun fact: they wanted to hire a lesser-known actress for Alice, so that's why no one knew that girl.
Oh, the blonde girl.
Yep.
The whole movie is just forgettable to me.
Yep.
I remember the Mad Hatter and the Red Queen or whatever she was, and not in a good way. And I couldn't tell you
Yeah.
the minutia of that movie.
Good.
I think so.
Cool.
Come on, Timmy. What do you got next?
Frankenweenie.
Yeah, they did a
Skipped it.
live action. It was fine.
I thought it was claymation.
Yeah, it's not live action.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's not. I
Oh,
didn't mean live
okay.
action. I'm sorry. I meant feature length.
Yeah. So basically,
But I
he was
said
like,
live action.
he was like, guys, you remember my movie from before? Now that I'm popular enough, let's do a full feature, and it's also not that good.
Well, because I want to say right around that time was like Paranorman,
Yeah, it was all this claymation stuff.
but like,
yeah, James and the Giant
spooky-
Peach.
spooky
Well, maybe
themes.
that was earlier.
yeah, that was earlier.
That was like '97.
that was right after Nightmare Before Christmas.
I like that movie.
I think he produced it.
That makes sense.
But Frankenweenie, like, it was fine.
Yeah.
You're like, honestly, the short is better.
Okay.
But it's like, it's fine.
Might need to watch the short, man.
Then in the same year, he did Dark Shadows.
Okay.
Oh, that was like Adam's Family ripoff.
Okay. No. Do you know what Dark
You haven't
Shadows
watched
is?
it.
No. Isn't it like a knockoff from an old TV show?
So Dark Shadows used to be like it was a vampire soap opera.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
the Dark Shadows itself, the TV show, was really over the top and dramatic.
Yeah.
And so I'm not shocked that this movie was kind of in the same vein.
In his wheelhouse.
Truthfully,
Yeah.
I like it.
Okay.
But it's trash. Like, it's a
Yeah.
bad movie.
Is it like guilty pleasure
Yes.
movie? Okay.
I like
Okay.
it, but I know it's dumb.
That is
and
one I
it's
haven't
bad.
seen. I have not seen Dark
You're
Shadows.
not missing
I've seen the
anything.
trailer, but I haven't
Johnny
seen
Depp's
the movie.
performance is weird. Everybody's performance in that movie is weird.
Johnny Depp's performance is normally weird. The
That's
only
fair.
character I really like him as is Jack Sparrow because he's weird, and it's like, but I like him that way.
Yeah. It's in the 70s, and so
See,
like,
yeah, okay.
like like Tim Burton nails it. I feel like on the aesthetics of the scenes
Yeah.
and like the little things everywhere work.
Another fact about me: I don't like movies from the 70s.
I do.
I don't. I like movies from the 50s and 60s, but once it got to the 70s, there's something about just the culture that gets pushed on it that I don't enjoy, and I don't like a lot of the environment of the 70s. I don't like how vehicles were designed in the 70s. I don't like the clothing of the 70s. I enjoy some of the music from the 70s, like the early rock stuff, but that's it. So I think that transitions to me not liking stuff like, yeah. So I apologize for anybody that is a
Rude.
70 fan.
Rude.
If you grew up in the 70s, I'm sorry. I grew up in the 80s. So that's my problem.
Then he
Moving
did
on.
Big Eyes.
Oh, I didn't watch that. That had Christoph Waltz in it, I think.
Is that Amy Adams too?
I want to say yes.
Right? Where she just like is a painter?
Both of you are correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was like it was like a real life story about this painter, and I think she wasn't getting credit, and I think her husband was taking credit.
And then she ends up getting it at the end, right? Or something?
I don't know. I haven't watched the movie. I just remember like I remember looking at it, and he'd done so many shit movies that I was just like, nah.
Yeah, see, that's the problem is once a director fails you a couple times, you're like, I am not sure about the same thing happened to frickin' oh my God, my brain is going mush. Sixth Sense, Signs.
M. Night Shyamalan.
Dude, Shyamalan, like he was a rock star, and
What are you
then
talking
he just,
about? Avatar: The Last Airbender was so good.
Damn it. But then he
it
comes
was bad.
back, right, with Split and and
yeah.
The Visit, and so there was some stuff that came back, and I was just like waiting for that Tim Burton stuff. So hopefully Ash still has some stuff.
So
that
bad.
I'm
There's not much
excited.
left. Next was Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children.
Oh, we saw that.
yeah.
It was okay.
I wanted to love it because I
wanted to
loved
like it.
Eva Green
Uh-huh.
in
Penny Dreadful.
Penny Dreadful. Yes, she was incredible
So
in
good.
that.
She's also in Dark Shadows.
Yeah, see, I think I shut Dark Shadows off.
It's
All right.
Yeah.
Miss Peregrine. I wanted to like it so much more than I did. Again, aesthetically beautiful. It was awesome. The visuals in that movie are great. I loved her navy blue hair. It was great. The movie, like, it just kind of falls flat.
So far, there has not been a lot of Tim Burton stuff in the last. Is that a 10-year span we've talked about already?
Well, because he started to make these stinkers,
30?
and I think he was losing a lot of goodwill with people.
Do you think he's just sometimes as a director you're just tired and you're just like, why do I have to be the weird guy all the time?
Probably.
Yeah.
Or nobody lets you make the movies you want to make anymore.
Sure. That happened to Sam Raimi, Spider-Man 3.
Yeah.
Or, you keep using the same two actors in
Yeah.
every movie, and people get tired
People
of it.
get tired
and your
of it.
Movies
Yep.
bomb.
Yep, that's fair. Yeah, if he said, my next new movie with Johnny Depp and Helena Bonham Carter, I'd be like, I'm out. I'm not even going to
I'd
give
be
you
like,
my money.
It's hard. I'm a huge fan. I'd be like, what's it about?
Well, how long ago did they get divorced? Do you know?
Oh, I don't know. I want to say like at this point, maybe 10 years ago.
Because I want to say she stopped being in his movies.
I think right after,
Once they
I
got
think it probably
divorced.
wasn't too far after Sweeney Todd.
Yeah, it's a little
honestly.
awkward.
Because Sweeney Todd was 2007.
But then she was also in Dark Shadows. You don't need to fact check me, girl. I've watched it a bunch of times.
So
But I
then
don't know.
the last one on the list is Dumbo.
Wait, so it was Miss Peregrine and then Dumbo.
And then Dumbo.
Isn't that a
Yeah.
big gap? A big time
Couple
gap?
years.
3 years.
Well, that's not
Wow.
that big.
Yeah,
There's
but when he's
directors that
been-
have been doing it for a while.
When for a while he was putting a movie out at least like once every other year or every year.
I'm going to be
Or
honest.
twice a year. If there was an
Yeah.
animated one, he did a live action the same year.
We've done a couple street cred episodes, and most of these, like, we chat about their timeline for like an hour. It's only been a half an hour.
Well, I think we're
So
going to
it's
get.
pretty short.
I would like to get into produce.
See, yeah, I think that would change.
I mean,
There's
what
gonna be a
else-
lot.
what else he's
Directing
done.
credits, he only has. I've lost the page now.
I wonder if he likes being a
yeah.
producer better than a director.
Maybe.
He only has 38 directing credits.
Okay.
That's
All right.
admirable.
And probably 8 of those in the beginning were his
Yeah.
shorts.
Short-
So,
That's fair.
Yeah, that's a shorter list for director
so-
than I thought.
so
I did not watch Dumbo.
Yeah.
I did not want to.
I did not either.
I didn't. I know they keep turning this stuff out because they want more revenue from
They
these
make
classic
money.
shows. But Dumbo's already. The trailer looked so sad and dark for a Dumbo film before you even started.
I remember we were in the movie theater and I was pregnant, and they started playing the trailer for Dumbo, and like the Baby Mine song came on, and it's so sad. I was bawling, and John looks over at me, and I'm just like, just like, he's like, "Are you okay?"
Just like a sob in
Oh,
the theater.
and I was just like, I don't think so, and like, it was bad, but I just again, okay, Michael Keaton was in that. To me, I'm like, this has got to be good. I
Yeah.
like Colin Farrell; he was in it too. It just didn't look good.
Yeah.
It was just like, I'll skip it.
I haven't sobbed like that since Marley and Me.
Oh, that's one I know I won't watch. I cannot watch a dog die.
Do me a favor. Start his producer credit from the top and
well,
then go back.
I have one more things to
Oh,
say because
okay.
he has one that's not out yet.
Oh.
Got it.
Beetlejuice 2.
No,
Ugh.
I thought that's like in development hell.
It's in development.
See, but so was Ghostbusters, and that is coming out soon. So
I hope that's good, dude. My hopes are so high
okay,
for that movie.
if it's Michael Keaton again, which I sure hope it is,
I think it's supposed
I
to be.
will.
Nothing's
rewatch.
cast yet.
I will rewatch that. I will rewatch Ghostbusters. Like those are two that.
I think. Okay. You know I love Ghostbusters. It's in the same category as Beetlejuice of just like, leave it alone.
Yeah.
Leave it alone. Same with Nightmare Before Christmas. They always talk about doing a sequel, and it's like, leave it alone.
I love that Ghostbusters is one of your favorite films, and you weren't even born when it came out.
Some of my favorite movies, I wasn't born.
It's so awesome. Like for people to go back and like realize how awesome these films were.
Well, one of
and
my
they end up
favorite-
being iconic to you.
One of my favorite movies is Jurassic Park, and I think I was 5 when it came out,
Yeah,
so
right.
I didn't watch it
Right.
until
it wasn't
a
until
couple years later.
Yeah.
But like Jurassic Park used to scare me when I was really little.
Well, I think I was the same way.
because it was scary.
I'm sure there was some freaky stuff.
But I'll watch a Beetlejuice too. But like I don't think it's necessary.
Yeah.
Okay, what did he produce?
Okay, so if I look at his production credits and I skipping over anything that he also directed,
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna list them. So don't.
Yep.
Sure.
Okay.
I'm not gonna stop between. The Nightmare Before Christmas, Cabin Boy, James and the Giant Peach,
Okay, so he did do that one.
9,
Ooh, I liked 9.
I did too. It was kind of like Sackboy, the sad and creepy version.
Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter.
Okay, I loved that movie.
I remember that. I saw
Abraham fucking Lincoln.
he like has an axe, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love
Alice Through the Looking Glass.
Yeah, because they
Sequel.
didn't have him
it.
direct it.
There was a sequel.
Yeah.
Garbage.
And that's it.
Those are the only other things
Everything
he's
else he
produced?
produced, he also directed.
I think it's interesting because so many. Tim Burton's A Nightmare Before Christmas is what it's called now, and I believe he wrote the story. I could be wrong, but I think it's so funny that so many people think he directed it and he did not. But
He did write the story.
Okay, the guy I'm almost positive the guy who directed A Nightmare Before Christmas directed Coraline.
Right.
And I
Which
love
is
Coraline.
another reason why people thought it was Tim Burton again,
Yes.
but Tim Burton didn't even produce that one. It wasn't on the list.
It had the same vibe.
How crazy is that? That a director like Tim Burton, who is so iconic and that we have like synonymous with some of our favorite films, has only done, in relatively speaking terms of directing, a handful of movies.
Yeah.
I mean, 20 years of directing, yes, it is a lot, but
It's a
there's
lot.
like directors that have, where he had, I don't know how many you listed there total
I think you said like 30 something.
He had
30?
38 directing credits.
And out of the ones that we really liked, there was what, 15?
I think I would venture to say I liked more than you do.
Sure.
Probably
But-
also seen more than Andy
yeah,
has.
But
Yeah.
he had it's so crazy to have such huge movies
Yeah.
and then just have huge bombs.
Yeah.
Bomb after bomb after bomb. So I'm really curious to see like what he does next because I truly think he's lost a lot of goodwill.
Yeah.
Because I
That
think a
is
lot of
hard.
these because I think it's also hard because like you have this director who became famous for doing things in a certain style.
Essentially Beetlejuice.
Yeah, but like maybe that's not his style anymore.
Right.
Or
Right.
maybe he's tired of it.
Or maybe
Yeah.
he had other influence or was reined back a little bit. And then once he could do his own stuff, then it's like,
Oh, wait,
This is a little bit
this is your real
weirder.
Tim
Or
Burton,
maybe
but
he used to do like some real
Huh.
hardcore drugs and he don't do drugs anymore.
that
Or
happens too
whatever.
with people, yeah.
But like, I mean, it's interesting now because okay, you think what 20, 30 years of filmmaking, you're a different person.
oh, sure.
You are a different person.
Absolutely.
And
Sometimes I feel like directors are more creative in their 20s and 30s than they are in their 40s and 50s.
because they're tired. They probably have kids.
Like Robert Altman, I don't know if you've ever seen any of his films, but I
You'd
can't
have to
stand
tell me.
his stuff.
But
He's just old. He's an old director. He's done stuff for a long time, but his last 20 years of films are just gag me. Like I can't handle
Yeah.
it. But his stuff was better when he was younger.
yeah, I mean, I think, I don't know, maybe there's more passion behind it, or maybe you get so used to just cashing a paycheck that.
I have a different theory. I think that directors are, they were short on tools and creative expression. Sorry, no, they were short on resources and the ability to have their creative expression, that they were more ingenuitive and innovative when they were younger. Now, you can do anything on a computer.
Yeah, fair.
So it almost feels like where you can kind of like, yeah, I can think of that. Let's just toss it. Where before it was like, man, can we do that? It's like, I don't know, let's try.
Yeah.
And you came up with some of these cool ideas that would have never happened with practical effects and
Sure.
those
and
things.
it's closer to realism because
Right.
you actually have to physically be able to do it,
Yeah.
as opposed to something that's fantastical, which kind of gets out of hand now. And now things are expected to be super fantastical because
Yeah.
you can.
You can't
Yeah.
rein things back anymore and be like, oh, the audience really loved that mediocre story and film.
Yeah.
Where if it was made 30 years ago, they'd be like, that was epic, like so awesome. So I don't know. That's a story for Tim Burton down the road. Hopefully there's some cool.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely hope that he's able to kind of come back. I really do because I like his style. I enjoy his movies, and I would hate for someone whose career I have enjoyed so much to just fizzle out with Dumbo. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so yeah. I mean, I do hope.
with Dumbo is so sad.
He really has become, like, if I think back, I'm like, oh, Tim Burton's so cool. He's made a lot of great stuff. And now whenever I hear Tim Burton movies coming out, I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
10 years ago, I
is
was
it
like,
going to be the same thing? Like the same weird movie with the same actors? Like,
well, now, he created his own style, and so now people expect that. And I don't know, but like, I just wonder if maybe they're like, just make it weirder. Like,
yeah.
Like, just make it
so do
weirder.
Dumbo, but like, we just want that.
we want the Tim Burton twist.
Yeah, we want it to
Yeah.
just be weird, and maybe he'll storyboard a film, and they're like, it's not dark enough.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean,
Right.
I wonder what, because you have something like Mars Attacks that is so extreme
Yeah,
and
it's
out there.
out of left field.
I mean, it's not dark,
No, it's not.
Um,
Yeah, right.
but it's so good. And I don't think it made a ton of money, but I think it's become a huge cult classic.
Yeah.
But I don't know, you know. But then you have movies that he's produced. Even James and the Giant Peach kind of had a Tim Burton feel to it.
It did, and that's why I think that some producers, once they're in there, they get to put a little bit of ideas and nudge. Sometimes
Sure.
they get a lot.
Sure.
Sometimes the producer pretty much directs the film.
Sure.
So it's it's quite interesting.
It's interesting.
Well, Tim Burton, thank you so much for gracing us with your movies. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Special guest Ashley, thanks for reading them
Yeah,
off
thanks,
for us.
special guest.
Guys, thank you so much for listening. Amanda, where can people find us?
iTunes, Google, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher. Just Google us. Just Google us, and you'll find
Anywhere,
us. Oh,
yeah.
YouTube.
And YouTubles.
And
Just
Instagram.
Instagram.
Yeah, actually, jump on the Instagram, guys. Tell us what your favorite Tim Burton
Yeah.
movie is, and if there is one that we talked about that you disagreed with our opinion.
Yeah.
on.
Was there one of the ones that we said was garbage that you liked?
Like,
Let
"No,
us know.
it's so good.
I would be curious if somebody likes like Planet of the Apes. For
Yeah,
someone to tell me
yeah.
why.
Oh, Marky Mark's my man. Guys, thanks so much for
Yikes.
listening. We'll catch you on the next episode.
Okay. Goodbye.
Bye.